previously with MediaHub remote workflows, we recommended creating a set of static sync folders that you would drag project files in and out of when you wanted to sync them or stop syncing them.
So this update changes the recommended workflow because now syncs are no longer static folders. You can choose which project space becomes an active sync, send them to your team dynamically, or you can turn them on and off when you need to. So some other benefits of this update: creating new syncs is way easier. There's much better monitoring of sync status. It's much easier to set up new users, and it's a lot easier to work with external hard drives for your syncs.
So if you're using MediaHub with a NAS and it happens to be a ProMax platform one, the workflow is identical for the server and for the MediaHubs. If you have a third-party server like a QNAP, Synology, SNS, Facilis, etc., the workflow can be done, but you need to create your dynamic project spaces from one of the remote MediaHubs, not from the MediaHub that is connected to that third-party solution.
Let's take a quick look at this update for sync. So when we first log into the platform after the update, we'll see we've got a welcome to platform dialog box here that pops up. It's got your sync name, so you can name the device that you're on here, your particular sync device, so the rest of the team can identify you. We've got our sync ID, which is that's going to be useful for joining sync groups if you're a new user who needs to join an existing group. And then our auto accept opt-in, which is opted in by default, and it is something that we'll look at here in just a second. So the first thing you'll notice when you log into the new version is we've got our sync name and then some bandwidth calculators, or not calculators, but bandwidth status up here. We've also got this button here to copy that sync ID again, so you can send that into chat and join a sync group very easily. We've got a sync tab now here, and in this tab we've got all the platform spaces or the project spaces now that are listed in your workstation or in your MediaHub. So in this case, I can go to an unshared system or an unshared space. So I'll use this project Alpha 1, and I'll go ahead and I'll sync that to demo 1. It says device synced. We're going to see that initialize, and that's going to check that box here in just a second. And now that system is going to create a platform space called Brian Test Project Alpha 01 and begin syncing that immediately. So that is a really clean, easy way to be able to push project data to a new user or the rest of your work group. You can create a space for a new project, choose to sync it with them. It's going to generate that space on their workstations automatically and begin transferring that data. They'll be able to clean that up and adjust and stop shares or whatnot when they're not used anymore. But the most important thing is being able to get that data moving and get that over to users as quickly as possible. And this makes it literally 2 clicks. So we've got that. We can see that now the system is scanning that folder. It is going to go ahead and begin to sync. So we've got statusing on that. You can do the same thing just on these tabs up here. You can actually flip this over and see MediaHub Demo 1. I've got several different syncs going to that. I can sort. So there's lots of ways to control and see how you're syncing to individual devices. And of course, we've got conflict control there, and you'll get notifications around various conflicts as they appear. So now, instead of having those sync folders that you move stuff into and move stuff out of, you can simply create a project space, name it whatever you want, house your project there, and then immediately begin to sync that to your users. Much easier, much cleaner, much simpler, and we hope you guys enjoy using it.